Hello, all you pro wrestling marks and proud. Welcome to Calling Spots with Bryan Kelly. I'm Bryan Kelly, and today we're doing Raw recap. Whoa, could I have fucked up that intro anymore? I don't know why I'm so fucking tongue-tied this morning, but I am. And I'm spilling Coke everywhere. I apologize to the podcast listeners who went, what happened? All two of you. Anyways, it's WWE Raw coming to you from Des Moines, Iowa, the 5th of February, the year of our Lord 2018, or whatever you believe in. We get a Bray backstage promo starting off the show, with the dark, just black background with, I guess he was vaping beforehand because there's smoke everywhere. And he talks about how last year at the Elimination Chamber, I won the WWE Championship. And I plan on doing the same thing. See, Roman, you're a loser. You lost the Royal Rumble. You lost the Intercontinental Championship. You're a loser. And then we cut to Roman doing a regular backstage promo with in a locker room, I think. I believe he was in a locker room. Saying, nah, I'm not a loser because I keep getting up. Every time I get knocked down, I get back up. So I'm getting back up tonight by beating you and heading to Elimination Chamber to beat Brock Lesnar and be the next Universal Champion. Because tonight we're going to have a match between Bray and Roman to decide who gets into Elimination Chamber. Spoiler alert, it's Roman. Anyway, we get Bray's entrance and the Fireflies come out. I have to say, man, if you've never been to a WWE live event, it's really cool just to go for Bray's entrance. I've never seen a place, literally, they shut every single light off in the entire arena, except for the, little dots behind him as he's walking to the ring. And the entire arena, though, is lit by everybody's cell phones. And it's the weirdest sensation and the weirdest feeling to just kind of look around and you can see everything, but there's no center of light. It's really, really odd and really, really cool. But he gets an entrance, and then we get Roman's entrance, and the crowd loved Roman. And Roman did a great job, as he always does. Rob Vista was your referee. Matt is watching from backstage. Matt Hardy on, one of the screens where they do that cut to the backstage area. Matt's sitting there going, watching Bray and Roman wrestle. A great match, man. Bray is one of the only guys. I'm not one of the smart, wrestling fans who think this guy's being underused and that guy's being underused and Vince doesn't know what he's talking about and all that. There's lots of other podcasts for you to listen to and lots of other shows to watch if you want to go, agree with those guys. I'm very positive on the WWE and very positive on Vince McMahon and the creative and what they're trying to do. They don't always hit it out of the park and they mess up, but hey man, that's what TV shows do. It's a television show at the end of the day. So, view it as a television show. If you don't like this episode of The Walking Dead, wait for next week. Maybe next week's episode will be better. Same thing with wrestling. Or same thing with the WWE and SmackDown and Raw specifically, not wrestling as a whole. It's, different things. Another video for another time. But anyway, I do think that Bray is a little underused. He is one of the guys who I think is a top guy, and I just don't understand why they don't use him more. Maybe he pissed somebody off backstage. Maybe he doesn't want to be used in certain situations. I just don't know. But he is a phenomenal wrestler, and I very rarely see him put on a bad match. And this was a great match between him and Roman. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." They loved it every time Roman wrestles. They love it when he wrestles. They just don't like him personally for other reasons that I'm not going to get into right now. But anyway, Roman eventually gets a spear. It was a typical back and forth kind of match. It was good, but there wasn't any really big spots to call out. Roman gets a spear and gets the win. Of course, we knew Roman was going to Elimination Chamber, and Bray once again has to eat a pin from somebody. And as Bray's watching Roman walk up the ramp, he's sitting there just kind of doing his thing, like, how'd this guy beat me again? Matt comes in from behind him, Matt Hardy, and is standing there going, yes, Queen. And Bray senses him behind him. and just kind of does this thing, and then eventually turns around to Matt, kicking him in the stomach. Twist of fate. Yeah. Crowd pops huge. Awesome. We cut then to backstage with Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. Excuse me, I'm going to get another drink of my delicious cola. And Seth's saying to Jason, hey man, you better be 100%. Are you 100%? Because Kurt said this is the last time he's going to let us take on the bar for these tag team titles. So you need to be 100%. We're a team. We need to trust each other. Are you good? And Jason's like, oh man, I'm good. I talked to my doctor. I talked to my dad. Everything is fine. Let's go out there and let's do this. And so Seth, being a positive role model, which he hasn't been in the last few weeks, it's kind of led up to this, goes, all right, man, then let's go out there together and win our tag team titles. And that's how they cut that. This looks good. Then we get a promo for the triple threat match between Braun, Elias Sampson, and John Cena. And that match also is going to determine one of the participants in the Elimination Chamber. Roman's already got one. And one of these three guys, Cena, Elias, or Braun Strowman, are going to Elimination Chamber. Can you guess who it is? I was pretty shocked by the ending of this match. It was pretty awesome. So out of that promo, we go to Mandy Rose and Goldust backstage doing a cell phone promo for their mixed match challenge match. Say that 10 times on Tuesday night. And they say, we're going to win. We're awesome. And then we cut to Naomi and Jimmy doing a cell phone promo because they are the opponents of Mandy Rose and Goldust in that mixed match challenge match. Jesus, guys, you couldn't have thought of something better? Anyways, or maybe I just need to speak better. Anyway, both of them were pretty cute. I like that stuff. You can check them out on the WWE Network or on their YouTube channel. And they're cute. I like them a lot. We go to a commercial. We come back from a commercial, and we got Gallows and Anderson mid-entrance, halfway through their theme, kind of making their way to the ring. And then their music cuts out, and Finn comes out. Finn Balor is awesome. I love Finn Balor. We got Black Balor tonight, wearing the black stuff. Sometimes he's blue, sometimes he's gray, sometimes he's white, sometimes he's red. Tonight we got Black Balor. And I really like what they're doing with Balor in the club. I think it's awesome. I think it's, maybe a few months late, but I really like what they're doing, and I look forward to seeing where they go with it. Hopefully they'll turn them all heel and make them a badass heel faction to go up against the Shield. That would be dope. And then we get the Revival. Say yeah. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Great tag team. Throwbacks. They are the only guys who have said the words professional wrestling on television, on WWE television, in years. And they say it every week. So I think that's awesome that Vince is letting them really run with this. We're old school. Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Minnesota Wrecking Crew, badass old school wrestling heels. I like it. I think it's really, really great. And they come out and say, hey, Finn, why don't you pick one of your boys there and we'll show you guys how it's done. And Finn goes, all right, that sounds fine. Hey, Carl Anderson, you want to take these boys on? Yeah, let's do it. So then we get the Revival versus Finn and Carl Anderson with John Cone as your referee. It was an okay match. It was kind of a squash of the Revival, to be honest with you. As much as I like those guys and as much as I, hope that the WWE is, going to use them in a championship capacity, or at least put them in that contention, they got squashed by Finn Balor and Carl Anderson. They got a couple of hits in, but it really wasn't much. Carl Anderson did this awesome running drop kick into the corner on Scott Dawson, and he goes, hi-ya! It was great. That was really funny. It made me laugh. And then Balor hits a coup de grace, and they win. It wasn't really much to speak of, and I like, like I said, I like the Revival a lot. I like what they're doing with the club a lot. It was an okay match, but it was kind of a squash. I would have liked to have seen a little more of a contest between the dudes. So then we get a still of the women's elimination chamber match that's going to happen on February 25th, I believe. And it's, just a still in the camera, and it's got Alexa's picture, and then it's got 5 or 4 silhouettes where we don't know who's in the match, but Alexa's obviously going to put up her women's championship. I keep bumping this thing because I'm trying a new setup with this mic instead of that stupid big ass boom mic, and I keep hitting it. It's driving me nuts. Anyways, so Sasha's walking backstage, and Sasha's backstage watching on a little iPad her getting beat by Asuka the week before. And then Bayley comes in and goes, "Hey man, this is like the 10th time you've watched this. You're being too hard on yourself. She's Asuka. It's cool." And Sasha's like, "Nah, you don't understand. I was this close to beating that bitch. I was this fucking close. But now I've got it figured out. Now I've watched this enough. Now I got it. And I'm gonna fuck her up." And Bayley goes, "Well, hey man, since I'm going out there to fight her right now, by the way, I'm paraphrasing all of this. This is not actual dialogue." She goes, "I'm going out there to fight her right now. Why don't you give me some tips?" And Sasha goes, "I don't think so, ho. I'm keeping my tips to myself so that I can beat Asuka." And then they get a little catty. He goes, "Well, fine. Stay here and watch, stuck up bitch." Just kidding. That's a line from Family Guy. "I'm going to be the first one to beat Asuka anyway. Watch and see." And Bayley goes, "Really? I was thinking the same thing." And Sasha goes, "You were thinking I was going to be the first one to beat Bayley? Ha, 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 ha. No. I was thinking I was going to be the one to beat Asuka." And Sasha goes, "You think you can beat Asuka? Really, catty." And and Bayley goes, "I know I can beat you," which she has several times in the past. It's great rivalry. And she goes, "If you can beat Asuka, then I can beat Asuka because I can beat you." And it was great. It was Bayley kind of getting a little bit of an attitude, and I like Bayley with an attitude. I like Bayley with some fucking teeth. That was dope. I hope this all, because everybody thinks this is leading to a Sasha heel turn against Bayley, and I really hope it's the opposite, and that it leads to a Bayley heel turn on Sasha. That would be amazing. So, Bayley walks out after her awesome line of "If I can beat you, I can beat her." And we go to a commercial, and then we have a 205 Live match, which is Drake Maverick, Rockstar Spud is sitting on commentary, and they introduce him as, "Hey, this is the guy formerly known as Rockstar Spud. Now his name's Drake Maverick. Don't ask any questions." And he's the commissioner of 205 Live. And he says, "Thank you very much. I'm Drake Maverick, and it's wonderful to be here in WWE." And we cut to the ring, and we have a match between, there was no entrances, Tony Nese, Drew Gulak, Mustafa Ali, who used to be a cop, probably the best ex-cop wrestler ever, maybe. I don't know too many. Maybe 2. No, he was a corrections officer, big boss man. He wasn't a cop. He was an overseer of sorts. And Cedric Alexander. Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander versus Tony Nese and Drew Gulak. Dan Engler is your referee. An okay match. It was more of a showcase for Cedric because he's got a big title match coming up, I'm sure, once the Cruiserweight Classic or the Cruiserweight Tournament takes place, that it'll end up being him winning the title at maybe Elimination Chamber. I think that's where it's supposed to culminate. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Lumbar check to Drew Gulak and the win. Pretty good match. We see Alexa talking to Kurt backstage, kind of frustrated, but there's no audio. There's just music over it, because they're about to cut to a commercial. We go to a commercial, and we come back from the commercial to Kurt Angle coming out to the ring. "You suck. You suck." It's awesome how he loves that and just lets them do that. It's funny. And it is a term of endearment. We love Kurt Angle, even though he sucks. So Kurt does an in-ring promo about how history was made with the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. And on February 25th, we're going to do it again because we're going to have the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match in which Alexa Bliss will defend her Raw Women's Championship. To which Alexa goes, oh no, I'm sorry. So he says, Alexa will put, I'm getting ahead of myself. He says, Alexa's going to put up the championship on February 25th in the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. And here are the participants. He stumbled a little bit, just like I just did. He stumbled through that a little bit, so maybe it's the copy. And he throws to the Titantron and announces the participants of that match. They're not going to do it like they're doing it with the guys where you have to battle it out for it. I don't know if it's because they don't have enough dudes or enough chicks or what, but so it's going to be Bayley, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, and Sasha Banks against Alexa for her Raw Women's title at Elimination Chamber February 25th. And as I was sitting there going, what the fuck about Nia? He goes, and a lot of you are probably thinking, what about Nia Jax? Well, Nia is going to face Asuka at Elimination Chamber. And if Nia wins against Asuka at Elimination Chamber, then WrestleMania becomes a triple threat match between Nia, Asuka, and whoever the Raw Women's Champion is at that point, if it's Alexa or if it's any of these other women in the Elimination Chamber match, which is kind of cool. I don't know how they're going to do that. They might do a count out. They might do a disqualification to give Nia the victory so that she beats Asuka, but she doesn't beat her. That way they can make it a triple threat match. I think that would be kind of cool. So he announces all of that, and Alexa's music hits, and she comes out pissed off, wearing the cutest shorts I've ever seen. She comes out pissed off and she says, hey man, this is kind of unfair, don't you think? I mean, why isn't Brock having to defend his Universal Championship in the Elimination Chamber match, but I have to defend mine? And Kurt had a very clever answer to all of that. He said, well, you haven't defended your championship since October's TLC, and Brock just defended his at Royal Rumble. And she turns it around. It's like, no, you're being sexist. It was really cute. She did a really good job of turning it. And even the crowd was like, whoa, turning on Kurt a little bit. So Kurt turns to the crowd and he goes, you know what? I'll ask the crowd if they want to see you in this match. You guys want to see it? Yes. Alexa goes, you guys suck. I'm leaving. And so she takes off. And he asks them again, one more time. Not as strong response as the first one. I don't know why he did it again. But Kurt asked the crowd again, let me ask you again. You want to see this match? Yes. So Elimination Chamber will take place on February 25th for the Raw Women's Championship. And it'll be Alexa, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, and Sasha. I'm thinking at this point, Alexa will probably walk with it still somehow. I don't see them dropping it to any of those guys, but I could be wrong, and we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Who knows? From there, we get a John Cena cell phone promo in the backstage area, and he's just the absolute best. I love John Cena. You go watch it. It's just a great promo. He walks back and forth in the back because he runs out of room, so he just turns around and walks back, and then turns around and walks back the other way. It was really great. He's the absolute best. Next, we get like this really cool like preview package of Asuka versus Bayley that I've never seen them really do before. And they do Asuka, Bayley next. And it was really cool. I like it. I love the graphics. I like the way the show looks lately. I really dig all of the new stuff that they're doing. I love all the new ways they're doing promos in the back. It's really cool. I really dig it. I think they're doing a great job. So we hit a commercial. We come back from the commercial to the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, making her entrance to the ring. And she looks like $1,000,000 and looks great. Then we get Bayley coming out to the ring, and Bayley looks like $1,000,000 and looks great. I think she was wearing like her Iron Man colors. It looked really, really cool. And we get Bayley versus Asuka. Chad Patton is your referee. It was a really great match. This is the best I've seen Bayley look in a long time. Maybe that's Asuka. It's probably Asuka. It is Asuka, because I thought the same thing last week against Sasha. I thought that was the best Sasha looked in a long time. And this week, I think, and maybe it's because she's raising their game, like they think they have to be on level with her. So, because sometimes I think those two, especially Bayley and Sasha, they wrestle kind of lazy at times when they're going through the motions of somebody that they've, been on the road with, doing a bunch of live events with. So it's just kind of like a dance almost. And you can kind of see that a lot of times in Bayley and Sasha's matches. But over the last 2 weeks, man, those are two of the best matches those two have put on against Asuka. So that just goes to, say something about Asuka's ability to elevate other performers up to her level. She's phenomenal. What a great match. It was a really good match. Bayley looked really, really good. Very, very strong. But in the end, Asuka wins. I thought they were going to have Sasha run out, but she didn't. Bayley's kind of leaning on the ropes, kind of trying to get her bearings and get up, and Asuka stands up and looks over at her and sticks her hand out, and they kind of shake hands, which was kind of cool. Then we get Sheamus and Cesaro doing the Bar promo, and I think they're in the stands of Philadelphia because the Eagles had just won the Super Bowl or something, so maybe they filmed it before that. I don't know, but they're in the, it looks like baseball stands or football stands or something, and just, pretty much say, hey man, tonight we're taking back our tag team title, or we're going to keep our tag team titles against Mama's Boy or no, what do you call him? Daddy's Boy and the Pretty Boy or something like that, talking about Seth and Jason. So then we get a commercial after that, and coming out of the commercial, we get the Miz intro, and he only comes out with Bo, even though they announce it as the Miz Taraj, but only Bo was there. I don't know where Curtis is, but only Bo. And Miz does a great in-ring promo where he talks about beating Roman, but then he put Roman over, which was cool. He's like, at Raw 25, I beat Roman Reigns, and then the following week, I beat Roman Reigns again. And then he puts him over by going, Roman Reigns is one of the most talented, he said ever, Roman Reigns is one of the most talented performers to ever step in this ring, or something like that. Go watch it, man. He puts him over, but he couldn't overcome me, which was cool. And then he says, tonight I'm going to win my match and get into Elimination Chamber. And he does a Paulie impression where he goes, the reigning, defending, blah, 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 and does it like an impression and says he's going to go on to WrestleMania to beat Brock Lesnar and become the first ever Intercontinental and Universal Champion at the same time. I love The Miz. He has totally turned me around. When I came back to watching wrestling 2-3 years ago, I hated him. I thought he was the worst, and I love him now. I wish him all the best. I hope he does headline WrestleMania and does walk out with both those titles. It would be amazing. So, and the person he has to beat to get into Elimination Chamber, Apollo Crews. So Apollo comes out with Titus Worldwide, and we know that he's going to lose, so it was kind of a boring match. We get a commercial before we actually get into the match. We get a commercial during Apollo's entrance. Rob Vista is your referee. They tried to make it seem like Apollo could win, a couple of false finishes kind of gave him a little bit of offense, but we knew that Apollo Crews was not going to be in Elimination Chamber over The Miz. There was no way. Skull-crushing finale, end, and a win for The Miz. We see Seth walking backstage, like kind of, working his tape on his wrists and stuff, and he runs into Jason, Kurt, and a doctor kind of standing there with these long looks on their faces, and Kurt's like, so do you want to tell him or do you want me to Jason? And Jason's like, man, I can't compete. I was stretching and something popped in my neck and it didn't feel right, and the doctors won't clear me, and I can't do it. I don't know what to do. And Kurt's like, or Seth's like, what the hell, dude? This is exactly what we just talked about. What am I supposed to do? This is our last chance at these matches. And he looks at Kurt and he's like, what am I supposed to do now? And the camera does this slow pan past Seth to Roman standing there. Crowd pops huge, loves the idea of it. They both look over at Kurt, and Seth goes, no words are spoken. It's genius. And Kurt goes, do it. He doesn't say anything. He just shakes his head, and the crowd goes, yeah. So we're going to get Seth and Roman versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team titles. Wow. So we go to a commercial. We come back to the bar entrance. The Bar. And they do great. And then we do a Royal Rumble promo that shows how Seth and Jason lost the tag titles at Royal Rumble to The Bar. And then we cut back to The Bar in the ring, kicking the ropes and stuff because they're all pissed that they got to face Seth and Roman now instead of Seth and Jason. Like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And freaking out. And Seth comes out first to his burn it down thing. And then Roman comes out to the cheers of millions. And Seth encourages the audience to clap for Roman at one point in the ring. The camera cuts to Seth in the ring during Roman's intro. And he's like, come on. It was pretty cute. So then we get Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, old school Shield buddies. And I think they were tag champs at one point because Dean was the Intercontinental champ. So versus The Bar for the tag team titles. John Cone is your referee. It was a good match. Great match from both. These are four of the best guys in the world, in my opinion. Sheamus is phenomenal. Cesaro is unbelievable. Roman is great. And Seth is incredible. It was a really good match. Go watch it. You'll like it. It was good. Jason comes out after Seth's getting beat down and he's kind of laying on the outside of the ring while Roman's getting worked over by, I think, Sheamus. And Jason comes out of the back and like encourages Seth to get up. He's like, come on, man, you can do it, get up. And it wakes Seth up and he's like, all right. And Seth gets up on the apron for the hot tag from Roman. Roman gives him the hot tag and Seth goes on like a fucking 4-minute run of just high flying knees and fucking sling blades and all kinds of things, diving out of the ring and running back. Just a really good run from Seth. Where am I? Sorry, I lost myself in my notes. Yeah, and while Seth is doing all of this, Roman, who's kind of recovering on the outside, sees Jason and he's like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. We've got this. We don't need you here. Go the hell away. And The Bar, while this is happening, tries to take their titles and leave. They are getting beat down and Seth tries to get him up for the power slam and they escape and they run out of the ring and they run over to the announce table or to the ring bell. Oh my God, why am I so fucking tongue-tied today? I'm sorry, guys. Runs over to the announcer's table, not the announcer's table. You know what I'm talking about. And they grab their tag team titles and they start to run off. And Jason stops them and is like, no, you guys aren't going anywhere. You have a match here and be good guys and stay in your match. And Seth and Sheamus and Cesaro kind of whisper to each other like for a second, like, I know what to do. And they go to swing on Jason, which instinctively Jason blocks and then hits them both. DQ. The Bar wins because Jason got involved in the match, which Roman and Seth are just in the ring looking at him like, what the hell did you just do, dude? They're like, what did you just do? And that's how that ends, with The Bar celebrating on the ramp, saying, haha, we beat you guys again for the last time because you can't challenge us again. Ha! So, sorry I stumbled through that so terribly. I'll try to be better. I need another drink. So, last week we get a video promo cutaway of last week when Braun dumped that announce table on Kane, that entire stage of an announce table on Kane. We get a Braun cell phone promo video where he's walking, which looks like the underbelly of the arena with pipes and shit and steam coming off of things. going, I'll always be the last one standing. I'll be the last one standing tonight. I'll be the last one standing at Elimination Chamber. And I'll be the last one standing at WrestleMania as your new Universal Champion. Braun's awesome. I love Braun. He's great. And he's funny too. He's got this really cool, funny side to him that you kind of see in this match and or in this segment he does later. And you also see it in the mixed match challenge promo videos that him and Alexa are doing. He's funny, dude. He's going to be a great addition to the main event scene. If he takes the title, it's going to be fantastic. If he becomes a face, it's going to be fantastic. He could be Steve Austin. He could be the next Stone Cold. He's that good. He's that convincing. He's that charismatic. He's got that much personality. He really could. I think that's the only reason he doesn't shave his head is he doesn't want to be compared to Stone Cold. But anyway, after Braun says, I'll always be the last one standing, we get a commercial. And backstage, we see Seth and Jason and Kurt. Kurt's kind of standing between them, and they're kind of fighting. And Seth is like, you're a selfish son of a bitch. And Kurt's like, whoa. Everybody just relax. And Seth says, the only thing I regret is that I didn't hurt you myself. Something along those lines. Really harsh shit. And then Kurt turns to Jason and says, you need to go home and stay home until you're medically cleared. And he tries to argue with him, but Dad, I said go, and yells at him, and Jason finally leaves. Then we get Nia coming out to the ring because she's not like most girls. And we get a Nia video package of her like just destroying everybody in NXT, destroying everybody. She's, all of her big power moves, just showing what a monster she is. And then for some reason, we get a jobber with no name in the ring against Nia. I mean, literally, I listened to the commentary twice. They never said her name. There was never a crawl. So I don't know who that wrestler was. I wish her all the best, and I hope she's okay because Nia just about killed the poor girl. It was a squash with Dan Engler as your referee. There's nothing much else to be said about that. Nia did pick this girl up and pressed her and then just kind of stepped out of the way and let her fall flat on her face. And that was a great spot. Other than that, it was a squash. That was pretty much it. Nia does an in-ring promo against Asuka saying at Elimination Chamber, Asuka's going to be the Empress of yesterday. Catty. And I'm looking forward to that. Asuka versus Nia at Elimination Chamber. Man, can Asuka have a bad match with anybody? I don't think she can. She's like AJ Styles in that way. We get a package of Elias hitting Cena at Raw 25 in the back with that guitar, which was awesome. That cheap-ass Mitchell. And from there, we go to a commercial. And up next, we got Absolution coming out because Sonya Deville is about to take on Mickie James. So Sonya comes out with Mandy and Paige skips down to the ring. I wish they'd let Paige do some promo stuff. I mean, I know she can't wrestle, but she can do some promo shit, can't she? Talk in the back. But anyways, then Mickie comes out wearing her jean jacket and her jean pants and her jean stuff because she just felt like wearing jeans tonight. And it was Sonya Deville versus Mickie James with Chad Patton as your referee. It was a good match. I'm not a big Sonya fan yet. I have nothing against her. I wish her all the best in the world and all the success in the world, and I hope she stays healthy forever. I'm just not a fan of the character. I'm not a big fan of UFC wrestlers or mixed martial art. The only ones that I really like are I love Aleister Black. There's some of those guys I like. I can't stand Shayna Baszler. And I can't stand... I can stand Sonya. I'm just not a fan of hers yet. I need to see a little more from her. I need to see a little better character work. That thing where she slaps her chest irritates me so much. It's like... I've seen so many people do that. Do something a little more original. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's like, yeah, I've seen people go, yeah, baby. And she says that. She says, yeah, baby, while she smacks her chest. And I've seen guys do that. It's so trite and cheesy. I hate it. But I wish her all the best, and she's a good wrestler, and she's got some real talent, and I look forward to seeing what she does in the future. Hopefully they can get the character worked out a little better, because I'm just not a fan. But it was a good match. Mickey looked great. Mickey has not lost a step. I'm watching WWE from 2008 right now, which was a big year for Mickey. She was the champion for a while there. And she looks the same. She probably looks better now than she did then, as far as her in-ring stuff and how quick she is and how fast she is and the way she sells. She looked really, really great. And then Mickey won with a roll-up out of nowhere, and I totally didn't see that coming. I thought for sure Sonya was going to win that match, and she didn't. Mickey won, which was really, really great. And as soon as the bell rings and Sonya realizes that she's lost, Absolution jumps into the ring and they all start beating the shit out of Mickey really bad. And Alexa, no music, just comes out to the ring and pulls Mickey out under the rope and just kind of helps her to the back. And the crowd is kind of stunned. Everybody's kind of like, what? Alexa's helping. Why is Alexa? And even Mickey's like kind of coming to, and she keeps looking over at her like, what the hell are you doing helping me? And Alexa's so brilliant. She goes, it's okay. It's okay. Come on. It's okay. I hope they're teasing an Alexa face turn, because that'd be amazing. I'd love to see Alexa really playing up to her personality and playing up to the crowd loving her, because they do. But from there, we go to a commercial. And when we come back from the commercial, we have Elias in the ring doing his half guitar solos. Who wants to teach Elias guitar? Okay. He said he passed on the Super Bowl halftime show to come to this wasteland. Said he usually flies over states like that, or flies over cities like this to go to real gigs. It was really great. And then he starts to sing. He says, "The song isn't for you tonight. The song's for me." And he starts to sing and is interrupted by Apadoo, John Cena, who comes out. Crowd pops huge for Cena. A little bit of booze after he comes out, but they always pop for Cena. And after Cena gets in the ring and throws his hat and does all his thing, we get Braun coming out, and the crowd pops huge for Braun. Braun! It was great. And that leads us into the main event, a triple threat match between Braun Strowman, John Cena, and Elias Samson. I love Elias Samson. I think he's doing great work. I love John Cena, but I think it's time for him to, go off and do other things or work in the back. And I like Braun Strowman a lot, as I talked to earlier, so this was going to be right up my alley, and it really, really was. There was a great spot when Cena and Elias team up on the outside against Braun for like 2-3 minutes, where they just throw him into the stairs, they throw him into the barricade, then Cena AAs Braun onto the stairs. He takes the first part off and AAs him onto the stairs. And then Elias instantly turns on Cena the minute that Braun's down. It was great. Great stuff from Elias. Cena gets some really good spots in and goes to do the "you can't see me" to Elias. And Elias kind of slips out of it. And when Cena bounces off the rope to come back, Braun's standing there and picks up John and power slams him. When he power slams Cena, just all that force, his finisher, Elias runs into Braun and kind of knees him out of the ring and sends Braun tumbling out of the ring, jumps on John Cena and gets a 1-2-3 on John Cena on Monday Night Raw. Elias Samson beat Braun Strowman and John Cena on Monday Night Raw. That's pretty awesome. I was literally watching this match and thinking to myself, well, Elias is here to eat the pin so that it doesn't make John look weak or Braun look weak. You pin Elias, nobody really cares. And Elias walked out as the winner. I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. Braun attacks Cena and attacks Elias, of course, after the bell rings, and power bombs them both. And then this is what I was talking about with his humor. He steps over the top rope like he's going to leave and only do it once. And then he looks at the crowd and he goes, "Nah." And everybody laughs. That's what I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, that guy's going to be awesome. He is awesome already. And he comes back in and he power bombs him a couple more times. And it was kind of awkward near the end there. It was almost house showish, where he was like, he got up on the ropes like, come on, I want to hear you. You want me to do it again? And they were like, yeah, I guess you're not done yet. And so he power bombs him again. Then the music oh no, they didn't even put the music on. As according to my notes, the music cuts off and he does two more. Odd way to end the show, almost off-camera dark match stuff. Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like. It felt like it was, they thought the cameras had shut off and Braun was doing it because he thought the cameras were off or something. And they just had a couple extra minutes, so they just let him, power bomb him a couple times. So Elias Sampson is going to the Elimination Chamber. Holy shit. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. I think it's great. Don't tell me WWE doesn't push new talent, buddy. And that was the end of the show. A wonderful Raw from Des Moines, Iowa. Seth Rollins' hometown. He had a cool shirt that said Iowa's own with his logo mixed in with it. It was really cool. Good shirt. You could probably only get it at the venue. You might be able to get it online. What am I talking about? It's WWE. Of course you can get it online. You can get everything online. But that was Raw. Really great show. I love the way the show looks. I love the guys that they're pushing. I love, the only, down spot, and I wouldn't even call it much of a down spot because it was still entertaining to watch, was Apollo versus Miz, because we knew Miz was going to win that. But it was a fantastic show. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun too. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to follow me on Twitter, please do so at Calling Spots Pod. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it is at Calling Spots Podcast. If you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Calling Spots Podcast as well. You can even email me at callingspotspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm Bryan Kelly. This is Calling Spots. I'll see you guys tomorrow night for SmackDown. Maybe even a little 205 Live because it's getting interesting. I like it. Okay, see you guys. Peace.